Okay, so my challenge for everyone tonight before they came on to the call was to bring something that represents their first job. And so I guess technically my first job was I got paid $1 to deliver transcripts to the local law firms for my mom on my bicycle. And then after I turned 13, I was allowed to babysit for some cash. So I did like have some other jobs. My first official name on the check job was working at the 29-cent hamburger stand. And so we were just kind of reminiscing about our first jobs. I was talking a little bit about that. And something that I remember very vividly about my very first day was the nerves. I was so nervous. It was a big day. We had to get my working papers, my working permit, like to take the job, and I had all my paperwork with me and all my forms and everything and my ID. And my mom took us to Perkins to have breakfast to celebrate my first day of work. And I ordered the tremendous 12, which was like a 12-dish breakfast, and I added food to it. And it was just this excitement and these nerves. And I think I ate all 12 of those items plus the additional ones that I ordered faster than my mom and sister with their one meals. And it was just this hyper, like I was just burning through this excitement. And my mom will retell the story, and she talks about how I looked up at the waitress at Perkins and I said, I start my first job today, and can you believe they are going to pay me $3.45 every hour? And I was just so excited about earning this paycheck and about this job and just all those hyper nerves. And then I got to the job. And this is really kind of what I wanted to like just kind of talk about before I take you, give you some tips and some tours real quick. But when I got to the job, I panicked. I got in the room. We had the room was probably the grill and everything fit like the size of this room. And we had a drive-through with a speaker, and there were all these weird buttons on the cash register. It didn't even look like a regular cash register. There were all these different options of food and drink size. And there were these screens you had to read. There was different stations. And then there was a cash register up front where people would walk into the store. And that cash register looked different than the one at the drive-through. And all of a sudden I was panicked. I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. There's just like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to give people the wrong food. I'm not going to understand people coming through the loudspeaker. Like, I'm not going to ring people up. I have to count the change. What am I going to do? And all of a sudden, all these fears flooded me. I went from a matter of this short window of time from super, super hyper excited, confident, positive, ready to go start my first job to bloop, there's no way I'm going to do this. I'm going to fail. I'm horrible. I'm not smart enough. I'm not going to know what to do. And I had all this negative happen in such a short window of time. And I was thinking about this because I thought, like, doesn't this happen to us like every day or every week or every weekend or every month when it comes into our health journeys? Like, we get so excited, we're going to conquer, we're going to do great, we're going to hit all these things. And then life happens, something happens, and all of a sudden we go, bloop, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. I obviously suck. I'm not like, and we just like fall apart and we don't know where to go next. Right. And so I actually saved it. I had this awesome fortune cookie once, and it also reminded me back into this. It said, I am always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it. And so just like that 15-year-old Jennifer that was super excited and ready to tackle her first job, and then shows up at the first job and had this expectation of knowing how to do everything instantly, overwhelm me and make me feel like I just can't and I wasn't meant for it. That is the reminder that I want to give to the Jennifer today. That's what I want to give to us today, is the reminder that we don't know how to do it all. Has anybody ever lived August 18th, 2021, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time ever in their life with their current work situation, their current family situation, their current stresses, their current financial situation, their current everything? Have you ever lived that time? No. but we're all going to live it in 15 minutes and we're all meeting it at a different level. So we don't necessarily know how to do it all immediately at the same time, right? So what I want to remind as we're moving forward is that this is all, every day is a new day, every hour is a new hour, every week has a new challenge. We have school coming up, and I think so often people say, I can't wait until school starts and the kids are back to school and I can start to get a schedule. And then guess what? School starts and then you're running the kids here and there. You're having to pack the lunches. You need to do the homework. And all of a sudden your schedule is just as crazy as it was in summer. It's just different. And so adding to our thought moving forward, instead of having it be, I got to be perfect and I got to like get it right, we're just going to keep picking that one thing that we can do to move forward and remind ourselves that just like the first day of our job, whether it's the job we're working now or our very first job ever, we didn't know how to do it all. Did anybody start their first job and know how to do it all from day one? No, and never. Even when I changed mortgage companies and did the same mortgage processing job at different companies, every company has a different computer system, a different workflow, a different expectation, different coworkers, different situations. So even when we think we know how to do it, we don't know how to do it. And so if we could just take the pressure off of ourselves of thinking that we have to know how to do it, I think it'll make this journey just that much better. And that is where, for me, and I know like you may think like, get sick of hearing me say it, but for me, that's where the tools have really helped me. That's where leaning into the group has really helped me. I go comment on my own posts every day because it helps me to reread my words and answer and think back to it. You know, I made the I'm guzzling water today post and I commented on it twice for my own self, talking to myself kind of, you know. So I want to encourage you to find that works for you and remind yourself, just like your first day of your job, you didn't know it all, and that's okay. You still got paid, right? You still got to move forward and you learned, and maybe you found you didn't like that job and you changed jobs. And that's what happens with our journeys. We find what works for us by trying what we can't do and what we haven't done yet. And that's where I use the tools to do that. So I'm going to take you really quick here to kind of show you where I'm getting some of the information I'm gonna cover next, because a big piece for me comes back to the nutrition videos and my tracking. And here I'm on the Beachbody On Demand website. You'll notice things keep changing and upgrading as they're moving over to the new platforms. So keep being on the lookout and feel free to share something if you find it, share it in our group, or feel free to ask questions if you can't find where something was before. I like when I go to the nutrition, I go to the quick hit, I go to the nutrition bar, and then even more specifically, you can hover down to what is it that you're looking for. In this case, I'm going to go to 2B mindset because that's my jam. For me, everything starts in your mind, right? Like what you focus on, you feel. Whatever you're thinking about is what you're probably going to do next. If you're thinking about that cookie, if you're thinking about that chocolate, you're probably going to go for that next. So, you know, what we can do is address our minds. And I can't tell you how I love that you own these for life when you buy them, because it's not meant to be something that you watch and use once. It's something that you go back and rewatch. Personally, every level of me, every different stress level with work, every change in my home, everything that happens, really, I hear different things and I realize different things every time I rewatch them. So in this case, I'm going to go down to the programs. I'm going to take you down to, I went too far. Take you down. So it's after the Learn Your Program. They moved it. Okay. It's in the extra videos. My gosh, if someone knows, unmute and tell me, because they moved my videos. Okay. Make over your mindset. It's not that. This is the program. Oh, okay. So if you go to learn the program, it's in Eating for Life and Overcoming Obstacles. So I'm going to go to the obstacles one. And this is where if you feel like you hit a plateau, or you feel like you've fallen off the wagon, or you've seen the scale go up, this is where you want to come in to there, the overcoming obstacles section. And then the eating for life is where we talk about takeout food, we talk about eating out and social events and traveling and vacations. And that's where I'm going to put, like, right now I'm on vacation. This is me on vacation. And we had Chinese food tonight. And if it wasn't for watching this takeout food video, I would have totally been stressing and either going all out and eating everything silly with the Chinese takeout food. Or what I did tonight is I used Alana's tips and I ordered the steamed veggies, and I ordered the garlic broccoli, the chicken. You can get the chicken broccoli with garlic or the shrimp broccoli with garlic. And I kind of did half and half and mixed it together so I could get more veggies, but I could have that fun garlic flavor and that fun seasoning. I always keep frozen cauliflower rice in my freezer because I can pull out 2 cups of that and stir it up with half a cup of the pork fried rice. And I get so much of the same flavor, but way more veggies. And I don't feel weighed down or guilty. Like, I feel very energetic and happy right now after having enjoyed takeout with my family. So I want to encourage you that that's a tip that I got from that video. And just like I said, we'll be going to Hershey Park. And so Hershey Park is all about Hershey chocolate. So we're going to go through, take the tour. We're going to check out the gift shops, and I'm sure we're going to eat out while we're there. And what I do is I rewatch those videos. They're just 4 to 6 minutes, but I rewatch them before I go to the event. And so what I'm going to do for myself is I'm going to make sure I'm going to take my water. I'm going to have several bottles of water along with me. If I can't take them into the park, I'm going to drink all the way up until I get in there and buy one when I'm in the park. And then, of course, on the drive home and when I get back to the car, I'll have my water there. I'm also going to take some baby carrots because they hold up really well with traveling. And I love the baby cucumbers, like the smaller cucumbers, because I can just eat them like a snack bar. And I'm going to take a beach bar and then also take my shake along. I'm going to eat my normal breakfast. I'm not going to say, oh, well, we're going to the park, so let's go and have drive through, or let's go have a big diner breakfast and treat myself to something really big and filling that's kind of a splurge, and then also go to a park and splurge, because that's going to be like multiplying all the splurges. So I love the tips of vacation and travel of having that water first, deciding, am I going to go have some chocolate and maybe a really good sundae at the Hershey Park with some homemade ice cream? Or am I going to treat myself to eating out and having an appetizer and a fun drink, and choosing what one I want, or deciding, like, if tonight's the day that we're going to have a Chinese takeout, that tomorrow we're going to, eat completely at home and maybe have a fun drink in the evening. Pick a day and spread it, and then make everything else about the rides and the fun and the games. I love stuffed animals and winning games and prizes. We could probably outfit a whole community with our house. So I personally, I'm going to make it about that fun. I'm going to choose a game and laughing and fun or watching a show over having a funnel cake. Do I like funnel cake? Would I want? Sure. But I don't need to have a funnel cake and a sundae and a soda and eat a big diner breakfast and have a big eat out dinner on the way home. I don't need to do all of that in one day. I can spread it out over a week of vacations and really just make it about having the time and the energy with my family. And then also not feeling bad or shaming myself or focusing on that thing that I chose. When I have the chocolate, I am going to enjoy it. If we decide to have a sundae or get a Hershey's bar or something like that, I'm going to enjoy it. And I love that every one of our plans, whether you follow Portion Fix or whether you follow To Be Mindset, you can have those things. You can absolutely enjoy those things. It's just, how often are we doing it? and what do we tell ourselves during and after. So if I can sit and really enjoy that chocolate while I'm having it, as opposed to eating it super quick and then beating myself up for the next week because I had that one bar, which is more enjoyable, right? I didn't do anything wrong because I ate chocolate. And so I think like that, having that mindset shift, and then also putting myself in the position to know it and prepare for it ahead of time. So I know that I'm going to put a plan in place, and I'm going to talk to my husband and say, okay, so this is, we're going to eat normal at home tomorrow. And that's another thing, is like, while on vacation, I'm still here on Wednesday night, even though I'm on vacation, because this, to me, like us getting together helps me stay on track. I'm still showing up in the group on vacation. Now, I'm not saying I don't want anybody to live in the group or live on Facebook. Like, I want you to live your lives and enjoy your lives. But checking in, 5 minutes a day to kind of help myself stay focused. I still showed up at the 7 a.m. workout this morning, and I kept my schedule as though it was a work day to keep myself in that cycle instead of throwing myself off. Because I found, for me, in that trial and error, that staying on schedule helps me. So if I wake up early, and do my workout and go through the day normally, whether I'm off or at work, I feel better physically, and I tend to make better decisions. I tend to make healthier, happier decisions. If I sleep in till noon, which I do sometimes, I take a Saturday or a Sunday, and sometimes we have a sleep in day, maybe usually because we're watching movies till 2 a.m. But when I have that, like probably every 2 months, I'll sleep in till noon, and I feel off the rest of the day, and I don't make the greatest decisions when I don't physically feel well. And so just having that plan, taking that extra water, taking those extra veggies, knowing that I have something to fall back on while I'm there, and rewatching my videos before I go, so that I can make sure I'm coming at it from the right mindset, and I have some tips to try, and just picking those one things, and then reminding myself, just like my first day of work, every day is different, everything brings new challenges, and you still get to, it's still a day, there's still something good in the day, there's still something that you can celebrate, and I just want to encourage you to find those things to celebrate. So that's everything that I wanted to share and encourage you with. I wanted to kind of hopefully show you that maybe you have some skills you didn't realize, or maybe you have some learning moments that you had in the past that you can apply to this journey now. And then I thought, as a last thing, is maybe we could think about what we do for work and what's something that we're really good at that we can apply to our health journey. So maybe you're really good at staying organized, and it's something that you never thought to take that organization skill to your fitness schedule or to your meal preparation schedule. So I'd love to hear. I'll do a teacher pause if you have any questions or anything to share. I'll check the chat, but feel free to unmute and ask away or share.
I don't have anything about my job, but I do have a pro tip. When you're in an amusement park and you want real food, like a salad, try to find their cafeteria or diner, whatever, like a big sit down thing. Anything that's a big sit down thing. Hershey Park has one, and it's like a medieval big castle thing, and it's like a cafeteria inside there. Perfect. So you could go in there, and I think the last time I went there a few years ago, they had salads and stuff, but usually their cafeteria section will have a salad bar or something, so you can go in there. We used to go to Six Flags Astroworld when it was still there in Houston all the time, and you could only eat so many chicken strips before, in the heat of Texas, before you're gonna get sick. So we would always go to the cafeteria, but we went to the season pass cafeteria because we had season passes. But if there's anything like that, or anything that's more like a restaurant, then they'll have it. But you could also, sometimes we'll leave the park to eat and then come back, because not only is it cheaper, but you're gonna find what you actually are looking for. So we'll do that, especially when we're with my grandparents who do Weight Watchers and count their points. We definitely leave the park because they need to find a salad or something to eat.
That's a great idea. You just made me realize I can absolutely pack a cooler and keep the cooler of an actual lunch and snack in the Jeep, and then we can take a midday break, maybe when we're changing where we want to go and head out. That's a great tip. I love it.
Yep, we used to do that all the time. We used to, like when we go to the water parks in particular, we would go to that store that day and get our lunch meat and stuff, and we would just absolutely keep it in our truck. Plus, it gave us a time to, sit down and cool off for a minute and then kind of recuperate. I think some of them will sometimes have a picnic area that you can bring your cooler into and eat, but then you got to take your cooler out when you're done.
Oh
But
no, yeah, they actually, you're right. They have. I've seen the picnic table section at Dorney, and I know they have the section at Knoebels. I love that. I love those tips. Thank you so much, Amber. Any other questions or shares before we pop off?
I might actually try doing some spreadsheets and stuff, because I know I've done that in the past, with tracking foods and tracking exercise and stuff like that. But I had success with that in the past when I actually tracked it. So I don't know if I would use Excel though, because it would have to be on my phone. So I have like a little notepad app that I like, use it for everything. So I could probably use that.
You can use Google Docs too. Google Docs spreadsheet. It'll work on your iPhone. You just gotta download the Google Docs thing.
Yeah, I use the Google spreadsheet. Yeah.
So
I live on
if
Google.
if you go to your Beachbody On Demand app, down in the bottom, there's a tracking, and if you click the tracking, so there's a calendar view. Let's see. Oh, I went back too far. Oops. So can you see the little green and blue dots under the calendar?
No.
Wait,
I don't know. I'm using my phone. Maybe it'd be better if it was on my computer.
Okay. Well, I'll put a screenshot in the comments in the group. You can actually track your workouts and your shakes, and then it puts a little dot, and you can do a
I think I tried that in the very beginning, and then I just got off. I got off key with that. I just stopped doing it. But I use my little notepad for everything. So if I'm always in there, I guess it might work.
So I maybe try that. And something that they just had push out that works for me right now is it actually sends a 5 p.m. reminder that I didn't log anything.
Yeah.
And so I get the text alert to go log. So I love the idea of taking your Microsoft Excel. I was like a fellow Microsoft Excel, do you do the little sums and the formulas? And I love the idea of taking that it's worked for you, it's a strength, it's something you do, and applying it to that notepad in your phone. Maybe revisiting with a different mindset, looking at it like Excel or looking at it as a report you can pull. Might be a way to revisit the tracking in the app and set the reminder to pop up if you don't get it done. And then maybe
I did it when I used to do Weight Watchers, and I actually had little formulas set up that would subtract and add all my, because you can only have so many points a day. So I'd be like, oh, I have 3 more points, or something so it was cool.
Yeah, so you could
set, but this Beachbody doesn't really work like that though, right? So
yeah, it's not it's more about if you're following the macros made easy, if you're following the containers, it is I have 4 more green containers, I have 6 more green containers. So it is counting in that sense. It's just, to me, more simple than the points, and it actually breaks it down to where it's a healthy day. So I failed at least 8 times with Weight Watchers personally. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but for me, I wasn't balancing the points in healthy ways. And so the containers are your macros broken down of what you should have in a full day. And so as you're counting the containers down, you're actually nurturing what your body needs. And then the 2B mindset is more intuitive eating and the plating, where it's helping you fill your plate in a healthy, balanced way if you follow the plate it of the veggies and the protein and the carbs in the way that they teach you. So yeah, so there's not really a limit in points or anything like that with what you're going through. Yeah, but you can totally do that. Maybe something, maybe a fun start, like with water, like experiment with your tracking your workouts and your water. Like I could see having the Excel sheet up on my desk during the day and like putting in the sum calculator, and every time I hit one and enter for my water, it like counts down my water or something.
Yeah. Yep.
But I would love for you to play with that this week, and then let us know if you find how that works for you, because that's what the fortune cookie is all about. It's I am always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it. So we can learn how to make this work for you, and learn how to get this so you can feel good and get the results you want. I love it. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna pop off our recording here for our friends who are